Hi everybody, today we're going to be looking at tutorial 6, which is creating your own slideshow from scratch. So we're going to be creating, in this training session, I'm going to get people to create their own slideshow and essentially implement all the um, animations and all the adding new pictures all the stuff that we discussed in the previous tutorials on how to edit and create your presentation slides. We're going to essentially bring it all together in this tutorial 6, so that you can get an idea from the beginning to the end of how easy it is to create a presentation slideshow. So in this tutorial, we're going to use an example, and that is we're going to create a slideshow that will be presenting Australia as a tourist destination, essentially. And we're just going to be, as you can see here, you've got some information to enter and also some pictures and some title themes that you need to select in order to make it appropriate. So I get people, first of all, to open a new PowerPoint document. Now I've got my assistant who's going to be doing this as I talk, just to streamline the process and make it easy for me to discuss whilst he types and creates. A bit of spelling error. So I'll get people to, in the title, type in Discovering the Down Under as a title for our first slide, and subtitle would be Australia. So step 4, we want to give the presentation or slides a theme that's going to be most appropriate to the topic that we're addressing. So I'll get you to just be creative and choose a theme that you believe is the most appropriate. It's entirely up to you which one you choose. Now we're up to step 5, starting a new slide. Choose title and contents drop down. So now we're doing the second slide. The title. We're going to put in some dot points. So we're covering step 7 here. Putting in the demographics, population demographics. So as you can see here, we've gone into the ribbon bar and selected number 1 as a dot point or a number point. Okay, let's put our current Prime Minister. Not Tony Abbott anymore. Let's put our current Prime Minister down. ScoMo. Going to go in and update that. Our population has increased as well since this exercise was created, but we'll leave it as it is. I'm going to dispute point 5. Australia is also the only continent that is governed as a single country. The pandemic has proven that each state, especially with their border controls, highlight the fact that we're not being governed as a single country and that each state is governing itself, especially when it comes to border control. Nice if it was governed by one country, one government. Freely travel. Stay out of politics for now. Okay, so we're done with step 7. Then we're going to create a new slide, and we're going to use the to content as a title, as a type of slide, and this obviously will enable us to put in additional information into the spreadsheet, into the PowerPoint presentation rather than the one. Okay, so now we're covering the Opera House. We're going to add in some images. Now, if you don't have these images, you can always download them from the internet. But if you go to online images, if you're running Windows 10, you essentially have what we have here. But if you're running a different version of Windows, it may require you to go on the internet and copy and paste some pictures. Okay, so we've got a picture of our Opera House. And now we're going to put in some information on the left-hand side about Opera House. Now, what you're going to be required to do, you probably noticed now that he's up to point 3 and he's going to run out of space soon. So what he'll need to do is he'll need to change the font size in order for it to fit on the one slide. So you'll soon see that he'll actually go and copy all that and change the font size in a moment. 120 million, 102 million to build back in 73. Wonder how many events are going to be held there this year. No doubt there's not going to be 3,000. Okay, so what we'll do now is we change the font size so it all fits on the one slide nicely. Probably a little bit too small. Make it a little bit bigger. Good. 0.4. Now, if you wanted to be more creative with this, what I would suggest you do is you can select a different type of a slide. At the moment, we're picking a to content slide template. But if you want to create or choose a 3 or 4 content slide, you can obviously put in additional information, or you can even put a graph in there, or you can be more creative with what information appears on your slide. At the same time, you don't want it to be too busy. If your presentation information, if you're presenting information on a slide which is cluttered, busy, it can be quite distracting as well. So these are some of the marketing aspects to be aware of when you're designing. Okay, so we've done step 10, we're up to 11. This time we're going to do a similar slides, but with the topic of kangaroos. So we're going to create a new slide. This one's obviously going to be one content, so it's going to be one set of information we're going to enter in. And content, and we're going to put in information into bullet point once again. I'm just going to pop the video on pause at the moment as he pops this out, just to minimize recording space, and then we'll start the video back up once he's completed the points. I think that's a better way of going about things. Okay guys, I'm imagining you've also typed out the remaining points for kangaroos. So once we've done that, we'll now go and enter in the next slide. So we go down to the next slide. And this time round, we're going to be choosing title and content once again. And we're going to put in the title, which is special events and dates, which we've already typed out. And now we're going to put in bullet points, some important dates in the calendar that relate to Australia. Now once again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to pop the video on pause and give you a chance to type the remaining points. Okay, so I trust everyone's typed in all our important dates in our calendar. We're going to jump through now to step 17, and which talks about animation and timing of our animation. So I'm going to go to slide 2 first, and similar to what we did in the previous exercise in tutorial 5, we're going to make our bullet points here. In this instance, we're going to make it, we're going to choose the second option for our first point. And now we're going to highlight the second point and do the same thing. And once again, you can be creative. You don't have to continue to select the same theme. Okay, so we've done that for slide 2. And now we're just making sure that it's all correct. That's fine. So now we'll go to slide 3 and do the same thing. Good. Now we're going to do the timing. This part's quite important. What we want to do is time the bullet points so that they appear after a period of time. So now we're going to put the delay in there. And then you can select the length. So we're going to select 1 second, which is quite fast. So it's counting down the seconds, and then your first bullet point comes through. You're counting down the seconds again. Okay. So down the bottom right-hand side is your timer there. So each bullet point is spaced by a delay of 10 seconds. Good, okay, you can stop that. So that's all done. On slide 4, we might as well put some animation in for slide 4 as well. So let's do the same thing, just to make it consistent. Alright, so almost there. Okay, so that's all good. And once again, to manipulate the timing, what you do is just come up to your panel over here and then simply just click on that drop down option and then just go to menu, and then once again you can change the timing if you decide. At the moment there's a 0 delay. Let's go half a second, 0.5, and do the same thing very fast, 0.5 for each. Click on OK. That will apply. Good. Alright, so we've done that for the first one only. So that concludes the timing. Let's run the whole slideshow from the beginning to the end, and let's see how it all looks. Let's make the assumption here that we're presenting this to the audience, and it's via mouse. So it will automatically populate the dot points for each slide, and then the next slideshow comes through. 10-second delay feels like a long time, doesn't it? But if you're going to be presenting this information and you're going to be building in facts within each of those points, no doubt 10 seconds will fly. You can bypass that by just hitting the arrow on your keypad. Good. That concludes assignment tutorial 6. Thank you for listening.